On February 1st of the year 2010, a 19-year-old boy named German Clarice was reported missing from the city of Arkansas. 5 days later, on the 6th of February, his body was discovered, shot to death along a rural road in Butler County, east of Augusta, in rural Kansas. However, the case remained unsolved for 12 years until 2022. The killer was finally found. What could have been the reason to kill a 19-year-old boy? Why did it take so long to solve this cold case? Today, we will be walking through the 12-year-old cold case of German Louis Clarice, who was killed in 2010. Before starting, we would like you to take a moment of your time and hit the like and subscribe button. Also, press the bell icon to be the first to discover all the new cold cases. Now, let's take a walk through this atrocious cold case. Arkansas City is a city in Cowley County, Kansas, located in the southwest of the county at the meeting point of the Arkansas and Walnut Rivers. Arkansas City is a railway junction with repair shops and a major cargo hub. Due to its inexpensive cost of living, friendly residents, comfortable climate, excellent dining and entertainment options, breathtaking scenery, and wide choice of activities to suit all interests, Arkansas is a terrific area to live in. Despite the many advantages of living in this city, Arkansas is not without its drawbacks. With 7.1 violent crimes per 1,000 residents, Arkansas has one of the highest violent crime rates in the U.S. At 26.5, it has the fifth highest property crime rate. Annual increases in violent crime are around 6%. Additionally, the city of Arkansas was the scene of German Clarice's disappearance in 2010. German Louis Clarice was born in 1991 in Buenos Aires, Argentina. He grew up with his mother, Ana Mariscal, and three brothers, Agustin Mariscal, Facundo Martin Rodriguez, and Luciano Rodriguez. As a child, he moved from Argentina to New Jersey in the United States with his mother, Ana Mariscal. From New Jersey, he moved to Wichita, Sedgwick County, Kansas, where his brother was employed. Louis then enrolled in the Wichita West High School in Wichita, Kansas. He graduated in the 2008-2009 session and started attending Cowley College in Arkansas City, Cowley County, Kansas. Louis had a thick New Jersey accent, and his friends used to call him Jersey in college. He was dating Shauna McKee, who worked at the Quick Trip gas station. Louis and Shauna were living together at the time. According to Shauna, Louis and she had planned to move into a new home very soon. Lacey Rowe, an employee at the college where Clarice studied, said he was always a gentleman. She also mentioned that he was ambitious and had a drive to do well. Despite his life seeming to be going in the right direction, tragedy was waiting around the corner. After speaking with his girlfriend, Louis left his flat on January 29, 2010. Both of them were having a typical day and had had a crucial conversation regarding issues pertaining to their relationship. Shauna had no idea, though, that this would be her last encounter with Louis. His whereabouts remained unknown for the next 2 days, and on February 1st, Louis's mother filed a missing person report when she couldn't get in touch with Louis and his phone could not be reached any longer. The police immediately began the search, and on February 6th, his body was found in a culvert east of Augusta, Butler County, Kansas. A woman walking on a rural road found his dead body and reported it to the police. She happened to look over the edge of a bridge in the 8000 block of Southwest Boyer Road. The place was extremely rural and was located southwest of El Dorado, about a 45 to 50-minute drive from Louis's residence. The road where Louis's body was found was difficult to spot. That's why investigators believed that whoever put his body there knew the area. Sergeant Sharp of the Butler County's Sheriff Office stated that the case was suspicious from the get-go. According to him, the first oddity of the case was Louis's shoes. The place where Lewis's body was found was a dirt track and was extremely muddy, but his shoes were still bright white. This made them sure that Lewis was not killed in that area. It made them believe that Lewis was killed someplace else and his body was dumped at that isolated muddy track. After studying the body, they realized that Lewis had been shot in the face and had died as a result of this. However, the exact date and time of the death was not clear as the body had not decomposed very much due to the cold weather at that time of year. So the investigators estimated that Lewis could have been dead for a day or two before he was found. Everyone who knew Lewis found this strange because he wasn't the kind of person who would ignore efforts to get in touch with him for so long. However, according to the police's estimation, Lewis might have still been alive as of February 3rd or 4th. This suggested that ever since his absence on January 29th, 2010, he had been deliberately avoiding everyone. On further searching for clues, they found his wallet in his pockets. This made it clear that it was not a robbery gone wrong, and that Lewis was murdered due to some unknown reason. After talking to Lewis's heartbroken family, the police learned that on the day of his disappearance, Lewis went out in his car, a 1990 Toyota Celica. It was also reported that all his phone activity stopped from January 30th, 2010. Before continuing the search for the car, the police were asked by the Eyewitness News if Lewis was into drugs or peddling. No confirmed answer was given by the police, but they believed that Lewis must have gotten into the wrong crowd. Otherwise, there was no strong reason for him to be a victim of homicide. The police talked to Lewis's girlfriend, Shauna, who was shocked to the core and couldn't understand why someone would kill Lewis. The heartbroken girl couldn't give them much information, but she shared some memories of Lewis. Later on, in an interview with the newspaper The Wichita Eagle on February 9th, 2010, she discussed more about their situation and that she and Lewis often got into fights, and Lewis had moved out of the house for some time. He wanted to clear his mind before moving back in with her. She also mentioned that in her last conversation with Lewis, they had discussed when he would move back in with her. The search continued, and after about 4 months of investigation, in June 2010, the police found Lewis's car on East 21st Street in Wichita after a mail carrier spotted it and reported it to the police. The place was about 30 minutes from the college Lewis was enrolled in. However, investigators didn't understand why it took months for someone to notice the car. Even after the missing report of the car was made public by the police right after he was reported missing. They believed it was there for the entire duration of the investigation, and it was odd that no one had reported it sooner. But Lewis's friends believed otherwise. They stated that they had been through the area many times and hadn't spotted the car any time before in the neighborhood. However, the car couldn't provide any information related to the case. On further questioning, Lewis's friend said that it was unlike Lewis to go to the neighborhood where the car was found. It was also suspicious and quite odd for the police as Lewis's body was found very far from where the car was found. It was clear that Lewis got into a different car. But what didn't make sense was why he had to ride in a different car when he had his own vehicle. Many questions arose, but the police were left with only assumptions and no real answers. According to Lewis's friends, someone must have picked him up from someplace else, killed him, took his body to that rural area, dumped his body there, and then drove the car back to that neighborhood. It was easy to assume but harder to prove, as the police found no evidence, not even fingerprints, in Lewis's car. It was confusing as fingerprint traces can remain for quite a long time if the place of contact is not handled afterwards. One of Lewis's friends said that Lewis must have known the person or people he rode with, as he was smart enough to not get into a car with strangers, unless he was forced to do so. So either he was held captive or he trusted the people with whom he shared the ride with. The police interrogated many people in and around the city who knew Lewis, but no new leads were found by the police. Although the police found no suspects, many people whom the investigators mentioned as Lewis's associates were kept in reports as possible suspects. Captain Morgan said, "Some of those associates we've talked to and been given information, we still consider them suspects in the case." According to Sergeant Sharp, there were plenty of rumors following Lewis's death. He believed that Lewis had been living another life, which was unknown to his family and friends, and that nobody had any idea what he was up to before he went missing. The police, on pursuing the investigation, came to know from Lewis's friends that Lewis had been hanging out with people whom he called bad people, and that there was a house he was frequenting. The police searched the house but found nothing related to Lewis's case. With lack of leads and evidence to follow, the case slowly went cold after a year or so. After remaining cold for more than a decade, the case finally entered its climax in 2022. The police revealed that they had finally found the culprits for the 12-year-old cold case of 19-year-old German Louis Clarice. The police didn't mention any information about how they were able to find the killer. Authorities said they reopened their investigation into Lewis's murder in 2021 after new evidence appeared, but declined to tell the Daily Beast exactly what that evidence was. They revealed that it was a couple who executed the murder of Louis Clarice. Local deputies and cops sent from the Butler County Sheriff's Office in Kansas arrested the couple, Candace Valdez, on July 30th and Christopher Valdez on July 31st, and they were taken into custody on Sunday, July 31st, 2022, on murder charges in the death of German Louis Clarice. They were then both extradited to Kansas to face murder charges. The 32-year-old couple was arrested in South Carolina over the weekend, where they shared a 5-bedroom home outside of Greenville. Christopher Valdez was charged with second-degree murder, and Candace was charged with aiding a felon. Shauna McKee, Lewis's girlfriend, didn't respond to any interview requests but commented on Facebook that she knew the couple. She mentioned on August 1, 2022, that both Candace and Christopher used to work with her at a Quick Trip, a gas station chain in Kansas, but transferred immediately after Lewis's murder. Quick Trip confirmed to the Daily Beast News website on August 3rd that Candace remained an area supervisor for the chain. However, a spokesperson declined to comment further on her current status with the company or how long she'd been employed there. In September 2022, an affidavit was released which revealed more information on the case and the charged couple. According to the affidavit, when Christopher Valdez was interrogated by the police, he accepted that he killed Lewis, but told the officers that he didn't do it on purpose. He said that he accidentally shot Lewis in the face while he was sitting on an ottoman. The affidavit report stated that Christopher Valdez didn't report the accidental incident to the police because he had marijuana plants growing in the basement of his house, and he was worried that the police would intervene. It was also recorded that Christopher had asked for help from the others to get rid of Lewis's body and threatened them that if they didn't help, there would be another body to get rid of. He lastly mentioned that they put Lewis's body in a tub and drove to the rural area where his body was eventually found and dumped his body in a culvert. He even said that they did not wear shoes to dump his body, and that's why no shoe prints were found. The couple went free on bond while awaiting trial, and no further information on the trial of the case was made public after September 2022. So according to you, did Christopher really shoot Lewis by accident? And what do you think might have happened to the couple after September 2022? Share your thoughts on this case in the comment section. And don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. Please subscribe to our channel where we will bring you more cold cases and discuss everything in detail with you. Stay tuned to Cold Case Files for more content.